Some very big news concerning goalkeepers today for Newcastle United. Dubravka, Nick Pope and David De Gea all linked in this, and Ruben Neves has shut the door on a final move to Newcastle United. We're going to get into why I think Dubravka should be chosen ahead of David De Gea, who is linked to Newcastle United, and apparently we are monitoring him. And of course, more exclusive on Nick Pope's unfortunate injury after getting injured against Manchester United. Without further ado, people, let's get into it. Right then, lads and lasses, how we're doing, and welcome back to the channel. Like I said, it's goalkeeper central for Newcastle today. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well. It's just, it hasn't even settled. Not that we've just given a good performance against Manchester United, but that we've got Sunderland in the derby. It's becoming a very good week for Newcastle. It seriously is. But, like I say, we've got goalkeeper news today. Before we get into it, please hit the like button. We'll keep them likes coming on the channel. I love giving you these news. I love putting in the hard work of editing, uploading, thumbnails, all that sort of stuff. I love doing it. So if you could repay us, it'd take you about 5 seconds to hit that like button. Thank you very much. Now, without further ado, we'll start with the unfortunate injury of Nick Pope, which it's the last thing I want to think about. Another injury for Eddie Housemags. Our start 11 of injured players could seriously beat Sunderland 3 or 4 now. But anyways, this is the injury of Nick Pope, confirmed by Keith Downey. Says meetings taking place between specialist and Newcastle United club doctors over the best options for Nick Pope in his shoulder injury. It is a shoulder injury. If operation is required, and it looks likely that he does need an operation for, or a surgery for his shoulder, the 31-year-old could face 4 to 5 months out. That's potentially the whole season, lads. That is genuinely the whole season. So, what do we do? Do we go with Martin Dubravka, who knows Newcastle in and out? He's been here for a very long time now. And look, in my opinion, I think he's one of the best backup keepers in the whole league. And even behind him, I don't know if it's a little bit biased to say we've got one of the best third backup keepers in the league. I mean, Karius played the cup final, didn't have a bad performance. Maybe could have saved the first goal. But look, I don't think he's too bad. But with Dubravka, do we go for Dubravka? Do we let him settle in? Because I'm not against Dubravka whatsoever. He's maybe prone to the odd error, but apart from that, his shot-stopping skills are great. He's much better distribution-wise than Nick Pope. He's not that far behind him. He seriously isn't. If the two were available, of course, I'd go for Nick Pope, as we've always chosen. But Dubravka, it isn't the worst-case scenario, is it? Anyways, on to a quick briefing of Newcastle being interested in monitoring David De Gea. Yes, you heard that correctly, and look, I know it's not the best name in world football. He's a goalkeeper. We may need a goalkeeper. Should we go for him? I'm going to give you my point of view, but you let me know down below. Would you take David De Gea at Newcastle United? Craig Hope just said, just around 4 or 5 hours ago, Newcastle United are considering moving for free agent David De Gea, with Nick Pope set to miss at least 4 months after dislocating his shoulder. 2 dislocations of the shoulder at Newcastle. What's the chances of that, man? But anyways, like I was saying, should we take David De Gea? Now look, there's one main thing that stands out to me. It's his wages. I'm sure he was on £350,000 a week at Manchester United. 350 grand a week. If that is what he wants at Newcastle, it's a no-go. It doesn't come into the question. Our top earner is Bruno Guimaraes, who, if I do stand corrected, he's on 160 grand a week, shortly followed by the likes of Alexander Isak and Sandro Tonali. But 350 grand a week for David De Gea. Maybe this is the reason why he's a free agent and nobody wants to take him on. He's coming to the back end of his career. I believe he's 31 years old. He's not exactly the prime David De Gea that he was he? I mean, he spent, to be fair to him, 12 pretty decent years in Newcastle United, at Manchester United, and he got a lot of, I would say, undeserved criticism. In my opinion, he was always a very good goalkeeper. Yes, yet again, he's prone to the error, as mostly every single goalkeeper is. Nick Pope and Martin Dubravka, and of course Karius is. Most goalkeepers can't get absolutely everything right, but I think he just at Man United got quite a bit of undeserved criticism, as they do with every single wrong player, but the back the likes of Erik ten Hag, who nearly gets every single game wrong. They are just backward, them lot. Anyways, what I was going to say is, look, should we take him? Let's put the wage out of perspective. If he wants 100 grand a week, would you take David De Gea at Newcastle United? It's a completely different situation, and I don't see why not. Is he better than Martin Dubravka? Look, he's been out of the club since the summer. This summer, of course, after spending 12 years there. I don't know. I seriously don't know. We'd have to see him back in training. Of course, we've done this sort of deal with Karius as well, so Newcastle aren't some sort of newcomers to this sort of free, out of nowhere deals. I don't know if I would take him. I seriously don't. in my opinion, let's stick with what we've got. Martin Dubravka, and then we've got Karius and Gillespie behind him, of course. If he wants to come for a very, very cut wage fee, because he's not getting anywhere near 350 grand, of course, Bruno on 160, I wouldn't even make him our top earner. I wouldn't give him 165 grand a week. Bottom line, I would give him, I wouldn't even be comfortable giving a goalkeeper 100 grand a week, who, look, if Nick Pope's back in 5 months, of course, for the next season, yes, he's going to be 32, we may go for a younger goalkeeper then, as we may need to, because, of course, Gillespie, Karius, Dubravka, De Gea, if he does come, and Nick Pope, I'm sure every single goalkeeper there is over 30 years old, so we're all going to have to look for a very youthful goalkeeper. But is there any point of paying David De Gea even, say, 75 grand a week when Nick Pope is going to come back in 5 weeks and probably claim the #1 spot back? But look, on the opposite side of it, I'm actually pretty happy. Dubravka gets to play back for Newcastle United, and I don't know why. I like seeing Dubravka. I mean, he's been here for a long time now. Like I say, he knows Newcastle. We know Dubravka. We know he's a fantastic shot stopper. That debut against Man United at home, that was a special, special game. It seriously was one of his best as well. But he knows Newcastle. Yes, it's a different goalkeeper, and it's always kind of weird getting used to a new goalkeeper, but like we say, he's going to, no matter what happens, he's going to have to play until January. We've got Everton, Spurs, Chelsea in the cup, of course the derby as well. He's going to have to play in the derby. Well, actually, he might not, because January is open, then that game's on the 6th or 7th of January. We might get De Gea, even Aaron Ramsdale, who has been linked to many times. But look, I'm very, very trustworthy in Dubravka. I don't know about you lot. You let me know if you're trustworthy about him, but I would play him. Against Everton, of course, we'll play him over Karius, but I'm not complaining whatsoever. I think Dubravka is a very good goalkeeper. For David De Gea, though, it is just a gamble. Why would we want to bring someone in who hasn't played football since the summer for someone who we know can be very good? I believe it's kind of a no-brainer for us. I mean, the wages is a complete no-no. We don't know how he's performing right now. Yes, we've seen clips of him training very hard to look for a club, but you can't be looking for a club when you're being out of football since the summer. You're 30 plus years old. Yes, it's not that old for a goalkeeper, but you're looking for 350 grand a week, which was what you were just on at Man United, and I'll believe you'd be very reluctant to come down to something like 75 grand a week. So David De Gea, for me, it's just a complete no-no. Seriously, it is a complete no-no. Now, like I said at the start of the video, Ruben Neves has completely shut down his move from Al Hilal to Newcastle United. This is what he said to Sky Sports on the potential move of coming to Newcastle. This is what he said: "I don't go. I think that's rumours because of the owners of the club, of course, and because I've played in England as well. There was Newcastle interest before I came here, of course, as we know, we wanted him at Wolves. Before I came here, but I'm really happy, my family's really happy, so I'm having a great time." I mean, look, he's getting all the money in the world. Of course, if you come to a loan move here, you wouldn't be taking a wage cut, we'd just pay a kind of percentage of it, but it's all come about since we were allowed to do loan party transaction deals, whatever you want to call it. Ruben Neves was, of course, the main one coming now. I don't think it's that much of a priority. Of course, we've got Longstaff, Elliot Anderson, Willock. We've got all the centre mids coming back. Of course, Tonali's the exception with the unfortunate suspension. But Lewis Miley's playing out of his skin for a 17-year-old lad. He's come up against Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain and Man United. The 3 games that he's played, of course, Bournemouth as well. But he's playing out of his skin, and he deserves that spot rightly. So we may go and look for someone else in centre mid. We never know. There's been many players linked, but we don't know. They could go for absolutely everyone Newcastle's board, but Lewis Miley's playing absolutely fantastic, so for me, I'd give him the spot. But there we'll have it. You let me know if you would take David De Gea at Newcastle United, or if you would stick with Martin Dubravka. For me, Dubravka and Karius behind him, I am completely fine with. That is one of the positions where Newcastle is very, very well sort of depthed up. I thought centre mid was our best area, where we had the likes of Bruno, Tonali, Joelinton, Willock, Longstaff, Elliot Anderson, Miley. The list goes on. Even more players can play in that position, like Lewis Hall as well. But goalkeeper, we are absolutely solid. And I mean, what's the chances of your goalkeepers getting 3 or 4 injured? I mean, for Newcastle, it's probably very likely, but you know what I mean. Anyways, you let me know yet again if you would have just Dubravka, or if you bring David De Gea in on a free in the January transfer window. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Jody Josh. People, make sure you like the video. Love yous all. Go and enjoy your day, people.